Cool. Yeah, it's moving so fast I can't. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to add me as a friend because I'm maxed out right now. But go ahead. If you haven't already, just go ahead and comment underneath this post. Just say I'm in on this post right here. What it's gonna do is it's gonna help me. It's another trick that I use also to help get more people onto webinars. So if you're looking into doing similar things as what I'm doing right now, this is a thing that I do to help to open it up to where other people can see it. And obviously, people act on engagement. When you see a lot of engagement on posts, normally it's like a trust factor. If you see a post with like 2 likes on it or 3 likes, not a lot of people will go ahead and take action on what it is that you're trying to do if they don't see a lot of engagement on your post. So again, that's a little hack that I use on social media to get more people registered for different webinars and stuff like that. Also serves as a last reminder for people to get onto your webinars for whatever you're trying to sell as well. Awesome. Yep. I can't answer questions right now. All right. First question is I want to know before we get started with the slides that I have for you, where are you guys from in the world? Okay, where are you guys? If you're from if you're not from the United States, what state are you from? If you're from another country, just let me know like what country you guys are from inside the chat box here. Awesome. So we have Australia in the house. We have Dallas, Texas, Louisiana, London, Jamaica, UK. We have Florida, New Jersey, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh. Another person from Florida. There should be a chat box on your screen. You can use that to go ahead and participate in this session here. Arizona, Orange County, California. So there's a bunch of people from around the world, and obviously, the United States is dominating here because obviously a lot of my following is from the U.S. But I do LV. Okay, awesome. Oh, Las Vegas. All right. So how many of you have businesses right now? How many of you guys currently have a business? It could be an online business, an offline business, whatever it is. How many of you just type yes in the box or me or whatever you want? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, me. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a general breakdown of how I like to do ads for my businesses. No matter what I'm promoting, it could be a e-commerce store, a Shopify store. It could be for a business-to-business ad. It could be, to get clients for whatever it is that I'm marketing. It really doesn't matter. I use the same exact techniques. Okay, and so this is like an outline of what I do. You can start from scratch. Okay, how many of you can see the screen right now? awesome. All right, I have a couple of slides for you, and then I have an example funnel that I'm going to share with you what I put together. Okay. All right. So first thing is first, I always go with my top 15 targets, and I find these targets by analyzing my market. Okay. So if I want to, what I do is I pinpoint my top individuals. Okay. If you're doing this for business and for whatever niche that you're trying to do this in, you got to pinpoint those top individuals who have already, received the type of success that you're trying to receive, or your ideal clients that you're trying to look for. Okay, you have to analyze what they do, what they eat, how their personality is. Most people don't go and do research that deep, but I can tell you this: that the content that you put out there, the way you put out the content, and how you're doing your research, how in depth you're doing your research is going to determine the success of your campaigns. Okay, it's not the entire determining factor, but it is a huge part of how successful your campaigns may be. So I take the top 15 targets and I work with those. So if, in my opinion, like for example, I might go and analyze Grant Cardone. Most people will just go in and target Grant Cardone because he has a nice business contacts or whatever. But I want to get to the people who he is attracting into his business, and the only way to do that is to study the person that you're trying to market. You're trying to get clients for, right? Those will be your ideal clients. So, breaking it down, that Grant Cardone's in the real estate business. So why wouldn't we go out there and find other real estate agents or agencies or companies that are in the real estate market and find those as interests to target? Okay, because he's attracting them. He's in the real estate market as well. He's also an investor. So the top investors in our market is what we need to go and find find our targets on as well. Okay, you can come up with way more than 15 targets just based off of your ideal customer, your ideal audience, or who has your ideal audience. Okay, what places does Grant Cardone like to eat at? Okay, what type of high-end restaurants does he like to eat at? What type of personality does he have? Okay, is he into like minimalism? What type of personality does he have? You have to think about these things. You have to think a little bit deeper when it comes to doing your targeting. You can't just go scrape off the top of the barrel like everybody else does and expect to have better results. That's not how it works. Now you may see actually I'm gonna get to that next. The next thing is, once I find these targets, I always go through the same gears every single time that I set up ads. I go through with my engagement ads first because I want to see how how are these audiences interacting with the content that I put out here in the marketplace. So if I put together a nice video, or if I put together an image, which the case study that I'm going to share with you today is just an image ad, how are these people interacting with this post? Not only that, but the content that I wrote on the post itself for the Facebook ad. How are they interacting with it? And if it's not good, then I won't go and invest more of my money into that ad. I'll invest my time, or outsource my time and have somebody perfect my copy, perfect the ad image, everything, before I even go into investing any more into the ad. So the engagement, of course, is not going to make you like a gang of sales. What the engagement is going to do is it's going to put this ad out in front of people who like to comment, who like to share stuff. And if you're not getting a bunch of those things, then you don't have a great ad, okay? And that's going to determine whether you're going to go through the other gears to have success with your campaign. So the next thing that I would do if I have a great ad is I will move into website conversion ads, okay? Website conversion ads are ads that optimize for specific events. So if you want to optimize for eyeballs on your website page, you can optimize for that using website conversions. If you want to optimize for add to carts, if you want to optimize for leads, if you want to optimize for initiate carts, if you want to optimize for people clicking a button on your website, you can do that with website conversion ads. Okay? So when I get to that phase, there are different phases that I go through in order to determine getting to the next phase, which, for example, e-commerce. If I'm running an e-commerce store, an e-commerce site, I'm definitely going to be focusing my time on moving through the gears, website conversion, add to cart, and then purchase. Okay? I want to optimize for those things, but if I don't have enough content, if I don't have enough eyeballs or data on my pixel, okay, which is a whole nother beast that I'll explain on the next webinar. If I don't have enough data for that particular event that I'm optimizing for, it's going to be a whole lot. It's going to take a lot longer for you to reach through the gears, which again is the only way that you reach through the gears is by buying the data. Okay, some of you look at ads a totally different way. Okay, the way I look at ads and investing my money into ads is I'm buying data because I can go back and I can use this data over and over and over again. Okay, and I'm going to prove that to you on the next couple of slides. Okay, how I'm using the data over and over and over again. Okay, I have data that I bought years ago that I'm still using to this day because I understand that reading my data, analyzing my data, is like one of the biggest parts of the success of your campaigns. You don't want to keep on running ads and let's say that a lead is costing you $5 a lead, but you can't figure out why or how to get that lead cost down. You need to be reading the data. What age groups is giving you the cheapest leads? What age groups are actually making you waste money on your campaigns? What placement? Are they on right column? Are they desktop newsfeed? Are they mobile newsfeed? Are they audience network? Are they on Instagram? Where are these people coming from? Where are you getting the cheapest leads? But more importantly, where are you making the bulk of your money from? Okay, we only know that by analyzing our data. Okay, and now I'm not talking about setting up a report and looking at the reports. I'm talking about physically exporting the data out of your Facebook, putting it on a sheet, okay, a Google Sheet, a document, or Excel, whatever you use to analyze, to look at data or to organize. Look at that data, read it, and then adjust your ads accordingly. Okay. Next thing is, once you do get data, and for the most part, when I'm analyzing and I'm finding these targets, I'm not going to use these targets forever. I'm only using them enough to where I can get to creating what we call lookalike audiences. Now, a show of hands, or actually just say yes or no in the comments. How many of you know what lookalike audiences are? How many of you know what lookalike audiences are? No, kinda, yes, yes. And for those of you I'm going to go back and answer your questions towards the end of the webinar because I want this to move a little bit smoother. But okay, so a lot of you don't know what lookalike audiences are. Okay, I'm going to give a real live example of that. So tell me get somebody name a business that you're marketing right now. I'm going to give you an example off the top of my head on how lookalike audiences work and how it can be applied to your business. Okay, MCA. Some of you know what Motor Club of America is, right? It's a company that helps people to make money online, but it's also a company that it helps. It's like a car and it's like a membership basically. Okay, they have towing services and different things like that. So with that business, right, and what most people are doing is they're running Facebook ads. They're running specifically only engagement ads. Okay, and they're doing the whole comment down below, and I'll reach out to you and give the link, that type of thing, right? So with that type of business model, all of these people who are coming to that page and are commenting on the page, even though you may not have a physical website, you can still do lookalike audiences. Okay? And what you're doing with a lookalike audience, you're saying, look, this is my audience. This is what's working for me. How can I find more of these people? How can I find similar people just like this? What Facebook does is they actually create a similar audience based on the data that you already have been collecting on your Facebook advertising platform, right? So they're looking at the data you already have. It could be 100 people to your website. It could be as simple as people liking and commenting on your post on your business page. You're saying, Facebook, I need 2 million of these people. I need you to look at this data and go through all of your data on Facebook and put together a list of 2 million people just like this so that I can use that audience instead of using, for example, Grant Cardone audience or Floyd Mayweather audience, which is also another make money aligned type of audience that you can target. Instead of using those targets, you create your own target and you can use it over and over and over again because these are the type of people who react to your content, to your ads. Now, if you're using somebody else's video or somebody else's content, then when you go out in the future to create your own images and whatnot, you can still use those custom audiences that you create, those lookalike audiences based off of that. So basically, it's a lookalike. Here's my content. Here's my visitors to my website. Here's the engagement. Can you create a lookalike audience for me based on that? You can create all the way up to 20 million size audiences based on that data. Now, obviously, the further up, the bigger the audiences are, the less accurate it is compared to like a 1% lookalike audience, which again we're going to talk about on another webinar, possibly next week. Okay, so next thing is that I wanted to point out to you guys is this: whenever you, as far as building a business, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Okay, not everybody on here is Einstein. I'm not even Einstein, right? You need to find funnels. You need to find content that is already working. Okay, it's proven to work because you've seen it, and you need to mimic it as best as possible. Okay, you need to mimic it as best as possible. They already have a working model. Don't go out there and say, well, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to create it this way and my fan page is going to look like this, blah, blah, blah. In the beginning, when you're doing this, even right now, I still find funnels that work and I mimic them, and then I customize them later on to perfect it. Okay, but your idea and your objective is to just copy something that's already working, improve upon it. Put it in your own words. Okay, you can take the idea from someone and just kind of alter it to fit, okay? But you don't want to go out there and try to create your own thing, okay? So mimic it and basically come up with a game plan around that funnel that you found, okay? This can happen in e-commerce. This can happen in real estate market. This can happen business to business market. There are tools out there you can use to find already working funnels on Facebook. There are tools that you can find already working funnels on Google. Same thing with Bing. Okay? Your job is to find those tools. Your job is, and if you can't afford the tools, you got to go out there and do the research to find them. Okay? Do the research. You can do it manually. I used to That actually, in one of my free Facebook ad courses that I taught people how to go out there and find already working funnels using first the Facebook graph search. Okay, uh, so there's always a workaround for things, but once you understand the formula, it always works out in your favor. Okay, so develop your game plan around modeling something that's already working, and put your own, obviously put your own spin on it. Now, next thing is whenever you're building these funnels, and this is in terms of high ticket, okay? I'm not talking about like the MCA because MCA is a $40 program, okay? I'm talking about $1,000 program. If you're $1,000 and up, maybe even 500 and up dollar programs that you may be creating yourself, or obviously maybe you may be marketing other programs that have higher ticket prices. The best way to go about doing that is by providing overwhelming value to your potential customers. Your potential customers have a problem. That's why they're looking at your content. That's why they're clicking on your links. That's why they're looking at your webinars, because there is a problem that they're trying to solve. So in order to solve this problem, in order to solve your problem or to fill your pipeline, you need to solve somebody else's problem. Okay? It's also how law of attraction works. Okay? If you help someone else, eventually the universe will boomerang that help back onto you. Okay? And the same concept again goes into business. Help to solve that person's problem by providing a solution, okay, and continue to do it until there's enough value that builds up to where it's a no-brainer to purchase your high-ticket program or whatever it is that you're promoting. Okay? So that's my approach every single time that I'm marketing anything when it comes to business, coaching. I always use that same model. It may not apply to e-commerce because you're not really providing value. You're selling items to individuals. You're selling items to individuals that just typically just want your product. Impulsive buyers is what I like to best way that I like to explain it. Okay, and so what I want to do is I actually want to show you guys some snippets of an ad that I put together. Okay, and actually want to show you the funnel that I put together for this particular campaign. Okay, now every time that I create a campaign, it's always 2 or 3-fold. Okay, so what you see on the surface has many different meanings to it, or ways that I'm going to monetize that same funnel. Okay, so when you're looking at these ads that I'm getting ready to share with you, yes, it is a free funnel, but there's many different ways to monetize free funnels. Okay, so what you're looking at is a set of ads that I put together for a funnel that I was marketing. Okay, and this funnel had a bunch of different concepts in mind. Okay, the first concept behind it is, obviously you guys know I market in the e-commerce market. I do coach people on a consistent basis. So there is another objective behind it. However, I understand that there are people out there that need Facebook ads training. They don't know how to set up funnels, right? They don't know how to set up a Shopify store. They don't know what apps to install in their store. They don't know how to set up payment processors. Just simple stuff that I knew, but simple stuff to me, but to others, it might be, obviously like gold, right? So I taught them how to, basically I'm teaching people how to set up Facebook ads, engagement ads, worldwide ads. I showed them how to do dark posts, unpublished and published dark posts. Or sorry, not published dark posts, but unpublished dark posts and regular clickable dark posts. I showed them how to read their reports in Facebook. I showed them obviously how to set up Shopify funnel. So I showed them all that stuff using this funnel. But again, it's twofold. Okay, because later on, even though I'm showing them this stuff for free, later on down the road, I know that they're going to make money with it. So, in return for me showing them how to make money, obviously they're going to want to buy my courses because I've taught them so much in the beginning before they actually purchase my content. Okay, that's how you sell higher ticket items. You can't just go out there and cram your courses and or if you're an affiliate, you can't cram your affiliate links down people's throats, inbox people with long messages and notes all the time. You can't do it that way. What you got to do is be more creative. Understand how to market first. Understand the metrics. Understand what is needed to scale a business. Okay, or even to get their feet wet to understanding what it is that your business is about. How do you even go about marketing it? And the only way to do that is if you grow. Okay, you need to know how to advertise. That's the biggest thing, and the biggest thing I've been focusing on for the last 7 years is advertisement. I understand it is never going to go away, and if I focus on it, I can pick up things like Shopify along the way. I can buy somebody's courses. I can go to a mentor, or I can mastermind with people and understand how to set up a Shopify store. But what I know is how to advertise. So once I understand the platform, boom, I'm gonna you're gonna kill it with any platform or any product or any affiliate program that you're trying to go after. So your focus should mainly be about advertisement. For example, you guys see commercials all the time. If you're marketing in the e-commerce market and you know you have competitors in that market for that product, why not try to put a spin on it? Why not go out and see what resources you can pull together to have a different spin on that already winning campaign? Most people don't think outside the box like that. They may slap up a couple of campaigns and run away. It doesn't work that way if you're trying to make bigger money with your business. Analyze your competition, study advertisement consistently. And if you don't have the time to study it and you have the money, outsource it to people who know how to do it so that you can always be in the game. Okay? So with this funnel right here, what you're seeing is lookalike audiences. When I was talking about going through the gears, I already studied my market for the top 10 targets for this particular ad. So once I found those ads and I ran my engagement ads, I was getting clicks to my website. I switched over to my website conversion ads. With all that data on my website, I decided to go and create lookalike audiences based off of that data on my website. That's when I came up with these lookalike audiences here. Now, again, there are different gears that you need to go through with lookalike audiences, but this is just the first gear that I went through. Now, what you're looking at right now, right here, is the cost that I'm paying per lead. Some of these are high, a lot of these are high, but I can tell you these are paid leads. Okay, these leads are this campaign is a 2,000% ROI campaign. Now you may be looking at it like, well, how in the world are you making 2,000% ROI on a free funnel? Actually, I'm going to cover that on the next webinar. So you guys are going to have to re-register for the next webinar. Again, I'm not pitching on the next webinar or any webinar after that for this Facebook business. What I'm doing right now is obviously I'm sharing this content with you. I do make a decent amount of money. I don't need your money when it comes to, period. But what I'm doing is actually I'm giving you guys something that you guys can work with because as I move up the ladder and as I continue to build my businesses, I understand that sometimes I do leave people behind. And I'm one of those people that always goes back behind and I create content to help people out, okay? Yes, it can be twofold. Obviously, I'm going to create stuff that helps me out in the process because I want to continue to reach more people. So I created this type of funnel not only to help people who are struggling with their stores, but it also is a twofold operation, which I'm going to explain on the next webinar, that also does 2,000% ROI. Actually, it will make more than 2,000% ROI once I'm done with the entire campaign. But the fact of the matter is, again, the reason why I'm creating these type of funnels is to help individuals like you out. Some people can't afford some of my coaching and different things like that. So I do create things that will help them to make some money to afford it if that's what they choose to do. Okay, so it's kind of like whenever it's a law. I always operate off a law of attraction. Whatever you put out is always going to come back. And if I'm putting out positive content or positive things, I know positive things will always come back. That's how you stay blessed. Okay, so enough about that. But the last thing is this funnel. Okay, some of you probably already seen this funnel before. It is a 60-day Shopify funnel. Some of you know how I found a winning funnel on it. Okay, I found a winning example. I didn't just come up with this all by myself. I did make small tweaks along the way to make it better, in my opinion. But this page right here is what we call is a lead page, but it is a value-based lead page. It's not just, hey, submit your name and email, and you're going to get this download in your email, and that's about it. No, that's not what this funnel was about. This funnel was about providing value and offering something that they just could not refuse. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys a good example of what you could do just on your own. Let's say that I know how to build a WordPress website, or maybe I know how to build a funnel. Maybe I know how to set up capture pages. I can give away tutorials on how to set up capture pages. Now, to you, that might be something so simple, but for so many people out there, okay? And I want you to kind of like look outside the box. The individuals that are on this webinar, you've probably been around me for so long, and I've given a lot of content. But for everybody outside of this little range, they have no idea how to do any of this stuff. They don't know where to go to set up a website. They don't know what Aweber is or what an autoresponder is. They don't know how to upload videos to YouTube. They don't know how to put the YouTube video on a website. They don't know how to buy domains. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. So I picture it like, basically picture it like this. We're inside this small little ghetto. And everybody in the ghetto, they know everything. They know everybody's business. They know every intricate part of what's going on, right? But outside of this ghetto is so many other people who don't know what's going on in business. And so by using this method, okay, and I'm going to explain to you, these targets, of course, there's some people in these targets that have no idea what's going on and how to do it, right? But by creating lookalike audiences, this gets you out the ghetto. This reaches other people similar to the individuals, and I'm using this similarity to help you understand, but these 15 targets, okay, that's within the ghetto, but there's people within the ghetto that want to get out, right? Those are the people who are willing to invest or willing to learn, but have no idea what's going on. But they're still in that small little box, right? Now, creating a lookalike audience based on all these people who want to get out the ghetto is going to allow you to get out the ghetto and reach more people that want to understand how to build their business, how to construct things. So basically, you're saying, Facebook, these are the people that I really want to reach out to. How can we reach out to more people? This is all I know. This is the only targets I know. I'm exhausted with doing research. Help me out, Facebook. Lookalike audiences will help you to get outside that ghetto and reach more people similar to you and similar to your funnel. I do this with every single funnel that I build because every single funnel functions differently. But the great thing is once you build these lookalikes, you can still test with these lookalikes instead of testing with brand new targets if what you're trying to market is similar. Okay, so if I go and build another funnel similar that showing people how to build a business or whatever, then I can use these lookalike audiences straight away. And not only that, but your competition won't know what you're targeting because you're using lookalike audiences. Have you guys seen Facebook ads in your news feed and you hit that little button, the little link, the little drop down menu, and you try to see what they're targeting? Have you guys have done that before? Yeah? Okay. Well, when you have lookalike audiences, you cannot see what the heck they're targeting. This is a workaround on how to get out of it. Yeah. Why am I seeing this? Even if they're using, even if people are using software to spy in on your funnel, they can't see what you're targeting because you got lookalike audiences. Okay. All right. So that's the first part of the funnel. Okay, is the landing page. I've got uh, I got Facebook tracking software just sitting right here on this page. So every single person that hits this page is being recorded and it's collecting the audience. Now, normally you guys collect leads into your autoresponders, and that's it. You can work off of those. But with Facebook, you can collect an audience just by somebody even clicking on a link to your page. So when you're building this audience, you can utilize that audience in the same way you do a list, because you can follow people around with what we call retargeting ads. Okay, so that's another way to remarket, to follow up with individuals who've seen your content but didn't take action on your content just yet. Okay, funnel page. They also arrive on a thank you page, and every time that I'm building a business, or I am educating people or whatever, I invite them over to a private Facebook group. Facebook groups are free to create. And the reason why I do that is because I want to deliver content to them individually that I'm not going to deliver anywhere else. Okay? It gives them a sense of a community, that we're building. Okay? And I do this each and every time I build a business. It could be a network marketing business. It could be maybe a blogging network. It doesn't matter what it is. I always build these based around courses that I build, or it's another way for me to give value and also build relationships with individuals that I'm working with. Okay. So, okay, you said community, so not a business page. Yeah, I have a business page, but this is what I'm talking about, a Facebook group. Yeah, just a Facebook group. Okay, but I use. I'm going to show you one of my the fan page I'm actually running this ad from here in a second. Okay, but this is what you call a thank you page, and I'm also tracking on this page. Okay, so once people go through my first step, they're being tracked on the second step through the lead process. Okay, and individuals that land on this page are more likely individuals who've gone through my wealth funnel. Okay, and so even though my lead might be $5 or $7 or $6, but when I was running ads using the 15 targets that I was telling you about, my lead cost was a lot more. It was like $10, $15 a lead. So by using lookalike audiences, my lead cost is a lot cheaper, and it will get cheaper over time as I continue to feed Facebook more and more data as I continue to go along. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question. I'm actually going to post this on my wall real quick. And that question is going to be, have you guys received value out of this webinar that I did for you guys today? Okay, I'm going to post that on my wall. Just give me a second. My computer is lagging a little bit. And then once I show you guys this fan page and go to this last piece of the slide, I'm going to answer any questions that you guys may have. Okay. if you guys received any value, all I'm asking for you guys to do is to like this post and basically just let me know, if you guys receive value. This also helps me in future webinars that I do, um, just to improve upon those webinars. Okay, it lets me know the count. It lets me know everything. If you guys just do me a really good favor and just leave me some comments down here, letting me know what you guys think about my webinar so far. Don't worry, it's being recorded. If you missed a lot of the webinar, I got the recording of it. And what I plan to do is, if you're on my email list, I do plan to post a link to it. I don't like posting links on my Facebook wall. A lot of you probably noticed that. I normally only do it if I'm doing a webinar live. And the reason for that is because I don't get a whole lot of reach on my wall if I post a link on my wall. So a lot of times I ask you guys to comment and stuff like that so that I can reach out to you individually, because obviously I won't reach enough people, and a lot of people won't get the message unless I post a link in the comments or inbox everybody with the link. All right. Wow. I really appreciate all the love here. Awesome. Well, in any event, I do appreciate you guys going and sharing your thoughts about the webinar. It really does help me out in the future, improving upon my webinars in the future. Okay. Um, like I said before, there's nothing to sell on this webinar. But what I want to do here is I want to give you the link to the funnel that I was actually talking about in this webinar. It is ecommercegods.com. The reason why I chose that name is pretty hilarious because every time that I'm getting ready to create any type of content whatsoever, if it's for promotional use or whatever, I always try to create some type of theme or some hilarious story behind it. Okay, you have to be, if you're marketing to individuals, you don't want to read a dry story, right? You don't want to read a dry story. You want something you want to read something that's entertaining, that's going to pique your interest, so that you can go in and visit the links or whatever it is. So whenever I create content or if I do any type of webinars or promotions heavy, it's always comical, or because that's my style. Okay, I'm a behind the scenes, um, besides business, I'm a very like comical person, and so I use my personality inside of my content to intrigue and pique people's interest, to click on my links, to visit my site, to and digest my content. Okay, so anytime that you're running any type of Facebook ads or when it comes to business, try to stand out from the pack by piquing people's interest. Okay, whatever your characteristics are. Okay, you may not be comical, but you may be a great storyteller. Okay, use those techniques. Use those things that you're already good at. Um, uh, in your content. Okay. Now, I'm not the greatest writer. Okay, and I'm certainly not the greatest effective speaker, but I do know how to grab people's attention and get things done in a quick manner. So you can look at this um, content here. You can look at the whole funnel here. If you decide that you want to go and create an e-commerce store, or maybe you just want to create Facebook ads or understand the Facebook ads. What I did was I did create a free course. Now I say free in quotations because you need a Shopify store in order to even implement uh, the way that I shared with people how to set up these Facebook ads. Okay. Now you obviously through that funnel, yeah, of course, you gotta have a store set up. Whether you were going to get my training or not, you still need to set up a store. You still need to pay for your tools for your business, right? You still need to pay for ads for Facebook ads. You still need to pay for apps that are going in your store. So what I do is I put together tutorials helping people to understand how to do Facebook ads, how to set up their store, or whatnot. But if you're just interested in how I set up my ads, I actually have some free stuff in here. Now, is it very intricate, detailed Facebook ads? There are levels to Facebook ads. Okay, there are levels to the game. I've given away Facebook ads that'll help people get started. Okay, it's a step up. It's a little bit of a step above beginner ads, such as like just boosting a post, but at the same time, it's enough for someone to make enough to afford my coaching at whatever level. Okay, whether it takes a month or maybe it takes 2 months, I've given you the tools, or as I like to say, I've given you the keys to at least make some money with these campaigns, and also to learn how to get in the game, how to make things work. Okay, so that's what I put together there. And also, if you just you don't want to go through that funnel again, you can just go through and I'll look at the funnel just by going to this link right here. Okay, that's sort of like this whole webinar is basically like my free gift to everyone here. That's also been on my email list. That's also been following me for a while and a couple of years or whatnot. I'm going to do another webinar similar to this in a little bit more detail. That's going to be next week. Again, this is not one of those series of webinars where I'm going to go and pitch you something at the end. I'm just giving value to the marketplace and individuals around me, especially since I move up in building my business. I may be that person that obviously I raise prices on my stuff, but I do make sure that I, in goodwill, put things out there that individuals can still make some money with. Okay, and if you didn't know about me, that's what I do and help people with. So, hope you guys enjoyed this webinar. One last thing I'm going to show you is my fan page real quick, and yeah, that's about it. I'm going to show you the fan page and the ad that was created, so you guys can take a good look at it here on this page. So I'm going to cut off the recording of this webinar for right now, but let's see.